Writing. Have you ever judged someone by the clothes they wore, the car they drove, or the quiet way they carried themselves? Sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one nobody notices. And sometimes, the biggest mistake you can make is humiliating someone who has already survived battles you could never imagine. What happened one Saturday morning at a small martial arts gym changed the lives of everyone who witnessed it. Two undefeated black belt brothers thought they were about to teach a struggling single father a lesson. Instead, they discovered that real strength isn't about showing off. It's about discipline, humility, and protecting others. Before we begin, welcome to Black Belt Legacy. If you love inspiring stories about courage, honor, and the true spirit of martial arts, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more unforgettable stories. Now, let's begin. Every Saturday, Daniel brought his 10-year-old son, Ethan, to the neighborhood Kung Fu Academy. Daniel worked long hours as a mechanic, raising Ethan alone after his wife passed away from illness 3 years earlier. Life had never been easy, but he refused to let his son grow up without learning confidence, respect, and self-control. Daniel never talked much. He usually sat quietly on a wooden bench wearing old jeans and a faded work shirt while Ethan trained with excitement on the practice mats. Some parents drove expensive SUVs and wore designer clothes. Daniel arrived in an old pickup truck that rattled every time he parked. Among the academy's top students were twin brothers Jason and Tyler. Both had earned black belts at a young age and had won several regional kung fu tournaments. They were talented, fast, and incredibly confident. Unfortunately, success had filled them with pride instead of humility. The twins often laughed at Daniel behind his back. They whispered about his worn-out boots, his rough hands, and the grease stains on his clothes. To them, he looked like someone who didn't belong inside a martial arts school. One morning, after Ethan finished class, Jason walked over with a grin. "So your dad just sits there every week?" he asked loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Maybe he's scared to train." Tyler laughed. "Or maybe he can't afford real lessons." Several students chuckled. Ethan lowered his head, embarrassed. Daniel simply smiled and placed a comforting hand on his son's shoulder. "It's okay," he whispered. "Remember what your instructor teaches. Respect first." But the twins weren't finished. Their coach announced an open sparring demonstration where family members could volunteer for a friendly match. Jason immediately pointed toward Daniel. "Why doesn't Ethan's dad show us what he's got?" The room became quiet. Daniel politely shook his head. "I'm just here to support my son." The twins continued teasing him. "What happened? Too scared? You don't look like you've ever thrown a punch." Even some adults watched with uncomfortable silence. Finally, Ethan looked up at his father with worried eyes. "You don't have to do this, Dad." Daniel smiled gently. "I'm not doing this for them," he said softly. "I'm doing it for you." He stepped onto the mat and removed his work boots. Everyone noticed something surprising. His movements were calm, balanced, controlled. Years of hard work had built quiet strength into every step. Jason attacked first, expecting an easy victory. The young black belt launched a fast combination of punches and kicks. Daniel didn't strike back. Instead, he calmly redirected every attack using smooth movements that looked almost effortless. His timing was perfect. His breathing never changed. The gym fell silent. Jason attacked again, this time even faster. Daniel gently sidestepped, guiding Jason's momentum until the young fighter lost balance and landed safely on the mat. No violence. No anger. Only control. Tyler rushed in, determined to defend his brother's pride. He combined spinning kicks with powerful punches, showing years of tournament experience. Again, Daniel remained calm. Every movement reminded everyone that true martial arts are about patience, not aggression. Within seconds, Tyler found himself gently pinned without pain or injury. The twins stared in disbelief. Nobody had ever controlled them so easily. The instructor stepped forward, amazed. "Where did you learn to move like that?" Daniel quietly picked up his boots before answering. "I spent 12 years as a Navy SEAL." Gasps filled the room. He continued speaking with complete humility. "During my service, I trained in several martial arts, including Kung Fu principles that taught balance, awareness, and discipline. Those lessons helped save lives. But the greatest lesson wasn't how to fight." He looked directly at the twins. It was learning when not to. The room stayed completely silent. Daniel continued. "Real warriors never look for opportunities to embarrass people. They protect the weak. They respect everyone because they know every person is fighting a battle we can't see." Jason slowly lowered his head. "So, you let us insult you?" Daniel nodded. "I hoped you'd stop on your own." Tyler's eyes filled with regret. "We're sorry." Daniel smiled warmly. "The apology matters more than the mistake." Coach Miller gathered every student around the mat. "This," he said, pointing toward Daniel, "is what Kung Fu has always been about. Not trophies. Not belts. Character." Over the next several months, everything changed. Jason and Tyler became different people. Instead of laughing at beginners, they started helping younger students tie their uniforms and practice basic techniques. They even volunteered to mentor children who lacked confidence. Ethan watched the transformation with pride. One afternoon, Jason approached him after class. "I'm sorry for everything I said." Ethan smiled. "My dad says everyone deserves a second chance." Daniel overheard the conversation from across the room. His heart filled with quiet happiness. Winning a sparring match had never been his goal. Changing hearts had been. Months later, the academy hosted a community demonstration promoting martial arts for local families. Coach Miller invited Daniel to share a few words. Standing before dozens of students, parents, and instructors, Daniel spoke simply. "Kung Fu isn't about proving you're stronger than someone else." He paused. "It's about becoming stronger than the person you were yesterday." He looked at Ethan. "The strongest people aren't those who win every fight." He looked toward Jason and Tyler. "They're the ones who choose kindness when pride tells them to show off." Everyone applauded. Not because of Daniel's military service. Not because of his incredible skill. But because every person in that room recognized genuine humility when they saw it. As the event ended, families left carrying more than training bags and uniforms. They carried a lesson that would stay with them forever. Real strength never needs to announce itself. Real confidence never humiliates others. And the true spirit of Kung Fu lives in every act of patience, respect, courage, and compassion. If this story touched your heart, remember that every kind word, every helping hand, and every moment of self-control is a way of honoring the true legacy of Kung Fu. Share this story with someone who needs a reminder that character will always be greater than pride. Together, let's inspire more people to practice respect, live with humility, and spread the timeless spirit of Kung Fu wherever we go.